How did you say, I need a sound that is away from all this so I can make a name for myself?
I tried to bring something to the table that I felt like nobody else could bring to the table.
Shawty so fine, pussy so fresh, diced pineapples that my baby taste the best.
At the time, I had 2 jobs. Didn't want to go to college, so I knew music was just going to pop. I'm like, yo, music going to pop. I just need the right placement. Once I get the right placement, I'm out of here. I was going to make some shit shake, you know what I mean? Like, I always had that mindset. At the end of the day, I'm trying to bring the greatest product to the artist. I'm a team player. However we got to get it done, we going to get it done.
I'm always staying where the hardware is at. You see it, a lot of it. Gold hardware. The GOATs is in the building. I'm not playing any games this time. This is Cardiak, Flatline, Don Cannon, BackTrak, Diced Pineapples, the remake. You know what it is, baby. I'm always bringing you the greatest shit. The greatest shit. 2 Philly boys. I mean, Jersey, Philly.
Jersey.
I ain't gonna do it, but I'm gonna say 2 Philly, Jersey boys. We here, BackTrak. Shop tomorrow. Make sure you go get it. My man, I'm out.
Fire.
So long story short, I fucked this whole episode up, and I'm gonna tell you why. I've been supposed to do this for a long time, and we supposed to be in Philadelphia. Even though you're not gonna claim Philly, I'm gonna give to Philly. You know what I'm saying? We're going South Jersey. He gonna tell me, no,
Jersey,
man, I was
man.
in North Jersey too, and then I was in,
Jersey,
LA.
dog.
But it's 2 Philly motherfuckers here. When I called him today to see if he was here, he said, "What up, boy? You ain't from Philly? You ain't from Philly?"
Philly rubs off on South Jersey just a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But
I'll take that. And we're in Dallas, of all places. We're supposed to be in Philly.
Right.
We're supposed to catch up in Houston. But we can get busy anyway.
We could have caught up in LA, but you ain't want to come out there. So
I'm
it's
done.
cool.
I'm done with those interviews. No, I'm just playing. This is BackTrak, Don Cannon, my man. He not gonna call himself a legend.
Nah.
But I'm gonna call him a legend.
Hell nah, not
On
yet.
both sides of the fence, he got R&B, got hip hop.
Yes, sir.
He one of the people that started the live drum sound, the hi-hat loops. I can't give that to so many people. I'm gonna give it to him. Cardiak is in the building. The Philly boy, okay?
Oh man, here we go.
The Philly boy. First of all, I'm gonna tell you, you one of my favorites. The drum kits.
Appreciate
I even
you.
used them. I ain't gonna lie. You know what I mean? I used them. Everybody around me used them.
Word.
And now that you ain't gonna claim Philly, you could tell people your story of where you from, how you got to this point.
Okay.
So go ahead.
So I'm from South Jersey, Willingboro to be exact. You know what I'm saying? Philly was a few minutes away, but I ran around in South Jersey as a snot nose coming up. So
Yeah.
you know what I mean? We going to debunk that. You know what I mean? I know you're from Philly and all that. So I started making beats 9th grade, probably 9th grade. Believe it or not, I used to rap. You know what I mean? So
I knew that.
I was on some like
They didn't. I knew that.
I was like on some like Kanye shit. So I was rapping and making beats, but you know, my calling was producing, obviously. You know what I mean? So from then, did a bunch of producer showcases.
Yep.
You know, shout out to I Standard.
Shout out to I Standard, man.
Rest in peace, Jay Hatch.
Jay.
You know, and then since then, I got my first placement and then just took off from there.
Oh, before we get to the first placement, the rap part, was that when you were starting to make the beats, was that because you couldn't find people's beats to rap on, or you just wanted to do?
A little bit of both. So, funny enough, I used to be a battle rapper for one.
Shit. Now you know he's really from Philly.
Hey, yo.
He's really from Philly, bro.
Yo.
You cannot say you're a battle rapper from South
Jersey. Like I said, I'm from South Jersey. We was close to Philly.
He can't be a battle rapper from South Jersey.
So,
There's none.
I was a fan of Cassidy, a fan of Meek, a fan of everybody from Philly. You know what I mean?
They all from Jersey.
I used to rap like Cassidy. This shit was crazy.
Exactly.
But you know, I started off. It's weird because it's like I used to rap like Cassidy, but making my own beats You know what I'm saying? Thinking I was Kanye and all that, thinking I was going to blow up like that. But yeah, I started off like that. A friend of mine introduced me to Fruity Loops, which I use to this day. So
we're going to start right there. Fruity Loops FL11
FL3.
or FL3?
3.
Okay.
I started at 3.
But I'm saying right now, what you on?
Oh, I'm on the latest version.
Okay, cool.
I'm on the latest version. I
Because
believe
Southside,
it's
you know, he
24.
got me believing that 11 is the best one ever.
It could be.
Okay.
It could be. I've updated every time there was an update. I would find myself going back to FL11 a few years ago, but I feel like the version that they got out now is so far ahead of the other ones as far as like output and workflow. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'll sacrifice all the stuff 11 had for the output. You know what I mean? Like it's very good right now.
That's dope. We're going to get into that a little bit later.
Yeah.
I wanted to jump into, you know, the deep diving of where your musical background slated from. I know you rap, and I know you make beats. Did you have parents that listen to music, that influence you? Did you come up in the church? A lot of the guys that, you know, are super musical, I'll call you a super musical guy, started normally in the church first.
Damn, you think I'm super musical?
Yeah, man, shit, I don't play keys. I can.
I can a little bit, but I ain't like a musician.
You good enough. I saw you online, you know what I mean?
I mean, I do a little razzle dazzle.
I'm a chopper, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Chop City. But yeah, I mean, just even the technique, how you're grooming the drums, how, you know, some of the, you know, the rhythms and, you know, the bounces, even like the, you know, I call them slack drums because it's offbeat a little bit, but it's still on. Where did that musical influence come from?
So, to be honest, yes, I was brought up in church. I did go to church as a youngster. You know, my grandmother, my mom, rest in peace, my sister, Shamika, they all always played, like I was always listening to music. Yeah. So I think I could pick up on everything by ear, but I don't necessarily call myself like a musician. I can't go to church and hop on the keys and go crazy. Okay. You know what I'm saying? But I think if I study something long enough, I could pretty much figure it out and make my way on the keys and get done what I need to get done. You know, but yeah, it all started with my sister. You know, she introduced me to a lot of music coming up, a lot of R&B, Brandy, Total, a lot of 90s R&B, so R. Kelly, all that type of stuff, like she introduced me to. And then the first album I ever copped was like, you gotta think like Blueprint.
Damn.
That was my first album that I purchased with my own money. So, you know, after I deep dove into music, I started going backwards for real. And then that's when I learned about, you know, all that other type of stuff. Like
I think Jay-Z gonna take that as some type of disrespect. You got his third album, fifth album.
Because
first.
that first album introduced me to Just Blaze. That introduced me to Bink. That introduced me to Kanye. That's right. Kanye inspired me, like, oh shit, he rap and make beats. Shit, I'm about to make beats and rap too. Like, you know what I'm saying? So and I think I will say a lot of my influence was Just Blaze simply because he was from Jersey. So I'm like, yo, if he could do this shit, I'm about to do this shit too.
He from the New York Jersey.
That's funny, yo. You funny as shit.
He from the New York Jersey. But go ahead.
Yeah. So yeah, that was my upbringing for real.
Yeah, I'm kind of an old head because, you know, I heard Jay early, but also my first album I bought in 1986 was Run DMC. I was 7, I think. What was I, 7 or 6? I was 7 years old.
And I do want to say I did, like, at the time I was in North Jersey, so I was listening to the radio.
Yeah, for sure.
So Hot 97, all that type of stuff. Yeah, so
radio
I did know music, but the first album that I was like went out and got was the Blueprint.
So you got Blueprint, but were you making beats before that, or you were learning from the Blueprint?
Learning from the Blueprint.
Ah, got you.
Learning from the Blueprint.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did you catch the bug from sampling in that space? Like, oh, I want to be a sampler.
Yeah, because it was like messing around on FL Studio. It was easy to make those kind of beats. Okay. Taking a sample, pitching it up. That was the style back then, pitching it up and then throwing, at the time, it's funny, I was using the FL stock sounds. So I was using the drums that was already in there. I didn't know about going out and finding drums or sampling drums and all that stuff. I was using what they had, you know what I mean? So pitching the sample up, adding those drums, and, you know, arranging it the way I arrange it, I was like, damn, this is what y'all using? This is what y'all doing? I could do this. This is dope.
I could do this. What at the Blueprint when it came out, how old were you then?
12 or 13?
Okay.
Something like that, around
So
there.
that's fairly young.
Yeah.
That's fairly young. And then the R&B from your sister was a little bit earlier than that.
Now, what's funny is I always listened to R&B. I always knew how to create it, but it was more so the mindset.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, I got that from, to answer your question, yes, I got that from my sister. But I want to say me producing it, I just recently started producing R&B.
Okay.
So I started full force, like maybe, 2016? I started doing it, but it was more so the mindset. When I start creating, I would think, all right, this is a rap song, maybe an R&B feature could get on it. Gotcha. Now when I create is, all right, this is R&B, maybe a rapper could hop on it. You know what I'm saying? It was the mindset, but I could always do it, you know what I mean? By just like listening and studying and all that.
And who you think got into that? Did you think that because you started getting with writers along your career helped you go more into like the R&B, then get a rapper on it, less rapper get an R&B person on it? Or was it just, I'm going to tell the truth. Sometimes when I got stagnant in rap, what I would do was start trying other genres.
So I think that's what happened to me. I was doing a lot of hip hop and rap stuff at the time, and I just felt like it was oversaturated. At the same time, my shit could have been whack. You know what I mean? So like after, like, you know how niggas had they run, and then after a while it's like, all right, dog, you whack. We about to move on to the next. Yeah. So I think at that point I felt like I was stagnant, and I was like, you know what? Maybe if I change my mindset up and start focusing more on stuff that I actually like, that I really love and I'm passionate about, because I'm passionate about R&B. So I'm right. You know what? Let me try and switch it up. Let me change my mindset up and see where it could take me. You know what I mean? And here we are.
So you passionate about R&B? We're gonna get you in a little bit of trouble. Your sister brought you up on a lot of these titles. Brandy or Monica?
Brandy.
Why?
I'm biased. So
I'm biased.
Monica,
why you biased?
I fucks with Monica.
Why you biased?
I'm biased because Brandy was my sister's favorite singer.
Okay.
Like, I couldn't tell her nothing, and since she's my favorite sister, I'm riding with Brandy too.
Wifey, Brandy or Monica?
She riding too. She biased too.
I love Brandy too, but Monica showed me so much love in Atlanta. Just pulling up. When we was just starting with the affiliates, she would pull up and just come over. She ain't have to do this. She was piping hot. She came and would do freestyles and stuff like that for the mixtapes. So I'm always gonna love her for that. But Brandy is definitely, one of the best vocalists I've ever heard.
Like, yeah, she's fire. She's fire for sure.
Yeah, so I tried to chase that too. And I'm like, damn, she's singing over rap beats. I'm gonna just make some rap beats and let it go there.
Yeah.
Your first record ever?
My first record ever
that you produced?
Established artist or just
record you produced?
Man, so
that you got paid for.
That I got paid for?
It could be $300. Because I got paid $300 for a beat before.
All right, so put it like this. Shout out to Joe Button. Joe Button was like my first.
They don't know Mousy. He's also from Jersey.
That was like a milestone for me.
Hey, Mousy.
That was a milestone for me. Like Joe Button from the town.
Word.
So I'm like, I bet. That was my first established joint. But the first joint.
On Def Jam?
No, I think he was on like, what's that label called? Amalgam Digital or some shit like that.
Oh shit!
Like it was the track was called The Soul, and it was on the Padded Room Project. That was like my first album joint ever.
Word.
But after that, I want to say it was Ace Hood. Shout out to Ace Hood. That's the one I got paid for. Shout out to Ace Hood.
That dude right there.
He was on I think We the Best at the time. So that was like the first joint that I got paid for. Okay. So I had like a few placements. Aside from, I didn't get paid for these, but shout out to Freeway, shout out to Mike Knox, shout out to Meek, everybody from Philly. You know what I mean? That's why I was like, getting my feet wet out there, getting my shit
Was this
off.
the MySpace era? Like, how did you get in touch with people?
MySpace era. I think it was MySpace, or maybe the beginning of Twitter, but it was definitely the MySpace era. I know I reached out to Freeway through MySpace, I believe, because he was having like what type of contest was it? Maybe it wasn't a contest. He was doing like a freestyle thing where it was like he was dropping freestyles every day. And I submitted my beats and he ended up using them. So I used that as a stepping stone to get other shit. Like, yo, I did all these joints for Freeway. Rap over my beats.
I mean, I was crazy in the era. The reason I mentioned the MySpace era because I had so many people that's popping came up to me. It's like, bro, I hit you on MySpace.
Word.
I used to be like, I ain't see that. But you always be like, I ain't see it neither.
Nah,
and
I was
Boy
on
Wonder was
MySpace.
one of them. Was like, yo, I just took flood y'all beats on MySpace.
Word.
I never saw them joints.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy.
Till he became the GOAT.
Word.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Now, I think like my heavy networking was definitely on Twitter because I was
Twitter.
definitely on Twitter.
Well, Twitter
like,
was a good
who need
space. What was
beats?
that, 2008, 10?
2009, 2010.
Okay.
Yeah, I was definitely on Twitter heavy, going crazy. I was probably spamming.
Before you had a manager, before you had all that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Spamming, going crazy. Like,
He said spam.
spamming.
What was
dog.
you saying?
Yo, I got beats. What's up? Like, but like I said, I was
Philly
using,
nigga.
I was using these other
got
joints.
beats.
I was using these other joints as stepping stones. So
Yeah.
just in case they didn't know, like I'm sure you heard the Freeway shit. I'm sure y'all heard the Ace Hood shit. Like at that time, everybody heard it. So they were like, oh, all right, if he did this shit, send me a pack, send me some beats.
Word.
So
Let's talk about competition because I don't talk about this enough, especially with us being from up north. Life is competitive for us in our spaces. You know what I mean? In and out the streets. If you was from the streets, it was competitive. If you was in the world of music, it was competitive. If you was in basketball, it was competitive. Football, etc. How competitive was it when you were coming up around those times you were just getting your feet wet, you starting to make a name for yourself? How competitive was it with these people? You know, some of these people were coming up was Jalil, you know what I mean?
Monster.
You know what I'm saying?
Monster.
Yeah, Just was still cooking at that time.
Yes.
I was still in Philly at this time. How did you stay competitive? How did you say, I need a sound that is away from all this so I can make a name for myself and make a pattern of a name for myself?
I tried to bring something to the table that I felt like nobody else could bring to the table.
What you thought that was, though?
Man, I don't know.
Live drums?
Maybe I guess live drums. A little bit. Even though I feel like I'm not like a musician. I will bring in live musicians to play certain stuff, and then I'll just chop it up and do it like that.
That's dope.
So live musicality, I feel like I brought to the table a little bit, you know. But going against juggernauts like fucking Jalil was fucking tearing shit
Smashing.
up. Shout out Jalil,
Smashing.
man. That nigga was going crazy. So.
Smashing.
Shout out to Sap the
Sap.
beat man.
Sap.
Oh man,
Pop.
like tri-state area, dog.
Yeah, I
like
forgot about Sap.
man. So I just had to feel like nobody was really doing like live music, with 808s and all that type of stuff. So I felt like I could bring that to the table and shit. Shout out to Meek. Meek bit that shit. So.
Yeah, no. Meek came through. He pretty much was rapping on everything. I know when we was doing his mixtapes early before he even thought about getting signed, it was a lot of stuff like, I got this from, I'm trying to follow him. I'm like, bro, who are these producers? All the beats was crazy. But he'd be like, they all different people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he was one of the people that kind of was like blessing folks. Even if it wasn't a whole song, he would freestyle on the beat and still, you know. And we would run around like, I'm on Flamers. I'm on Flamers 4. I'm on, you know what I'm saying? That was your business card.
Yeah, I
right?
think
you know what I mean?
my first joints with Meek was on. It might have been Mr. Philadelphia. That was like the one before all the like the Dream Chasers and all that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where I got my shit off on that. Once we did that, took off from there, dog. So.
We always had a saying too, and because you're close to home, I can have these convos with you because you can, you know, jump in whenever. One of the things is we learn is when we're in these cities, we got to leave home to be hot. Did you have that at any moment where you was like, yo, I got to get out of Jersey and I spread my wings in a different city so I can, you know what I mean?
I want to say, I guess so. In a sense, 2014, I moved. That's when I moved to LA.
Okay.
At the
was
time,
it a stagnant thing or was it just like, bro, I just got to get out?
It wasn't a stagnant thing. I felt like it was more so like a business move. It could have been stagnant, but at the same time, I was traveling to New York all the time. So New York, I was working in Philly. If an artist was in Philly, you know, at the time, 2014, I think Dice Pineapples was out, 600 Benz was out, Started Up was definitely out. So around that time, I had motion, you know what I'm saying? But it was like, yo, all the artists really for real be working out of LA or Atlanta. I felt like Atlanta was kind of too close to home. You know what I mean? I felt like Atlanta was like an extension of Willingboro. So I'm like, you know what? Let's go. Let's try something
Atlanta, different. Jersey, Atlanta. That's what we say. It's a bunch of us down there.
Yeah,
So.
I felt like it was like too close. So I'm like, you know what? Let's try something different. Let's go to L.A. Let's make some shit shake. And sure enough, as soon as I got to L.A., rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle. He showed love as soon as I touched down. And then I was at Dr. Dre's studio like every day. So shout out to Focus Taheem.
Focus is my guy, bro.
Yeah, so I was there every day, dog, until fucking Detox came out, but Compton came out instead. Bless.
How was that experience?
It was great. You know, I want to say I was the person that got Dr. Dre on trap beats. You know what I'm saying? But I'll let y'all.
How did that happen? So you were just playing beats and was like, yo, I think you need to be on
There was this one beat I did when I first moved to LA. I played it for Nipsey. Nipsey was fucking with it, but he ain't really do. Like, he was fucking with it in the moment, but ain't nothing really come for it. So I ended up playing it at Dr. Dre's studio for John Connor. The record is called For the Love of Money. For y'all that don't know, it's called For the Love of Money. It was that beat. John Connor did a whole song to it. Dr. Dre was messing with it. And in the midst, we was doing like a whole bunch of songs. And then when it came down to the final songs for the Compton album, Dr. Dre was like, yo, I want to use this particular song, the John Connor song, for the album. So he ended up getting on that. But he was a fan of the 808s and all that type stuff. So even the other beats that I was working on there with collabing with Focus, like it was like trap heavy, 808 heavy, you know what I mean? So I didn't think he would fuck with it, you know what I mean? But I guess you got to like try something different, you know what I mean? Because there were moments where I was trying to do that Dre sound, you know what I mean? And they like, nah, dog, do you. Don't do Dre. Do your shit. He fuck with your shit, so do what you do.
To not do Dre, bro.
Bro.
How you gonna mix stuff for Detox and don't make it sound like Dre? It's
right.
loud.
You know what I mean? So that was like a life-changing moment for me. I'm like, yo, if Dr. Dre fuck with my shit, I know I'm doing something good.
Was it some words of wisdom that he gave you at any moment?
Man, there was, what's the words? It was more so he shitted on me at one point.
Word?
I never forget. I played this one beat and he told me to like, we was working on this record and he liked the beat, but he didn't like my snare. So I'm like, all right, bet, easy fix. I changed the snare. He was like, did you change it yet? I'm like, yeah, it's a whole new snare. He was like, nah, it's the same shit. So after that, cause normally it's like, you already fuck with my beats from the rip, but if I change some shit, I expect you to fuck with it after that. But he still wasn't fucking with it, so I started panicking a little bit, like, oh shit. And then the song fell to the wayside, so I didn't come back to the studio for a while after that. I'm like, yo, I gotta step my game up. So then I came back. I did the drums on this joint with Focus, called Deep Water. That ended up on the album, and Dre was like, all right, you back now. You good now. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like you back. That was like a thing.
What was the difference?
Oh, man.
Did somebody say, the Focus be like, yo, these are the type of snares that
Nah, it was, to be honest, I still don't know. And now after that situation, I struggle with snares now.
Word?
Yeah, like I struggle with snares now.
I'll make crazy.
Bro, I'll make all these beats, I'll work on all these songs, but the song won't never get done until I have the right snare on there now. You know what I mean? I try not to overthink, but if the snare not right, I have second thoughts about it. So
that's different. I never heard that from a guy that put out some of the best drum kits that everybody uses ever. You struggle with snares, it's tough.
I struggle with snares.
That's tough. I want to jump into that drum kit. What made you get into those?
Illmind. Shout out to Illmind. He the one who was like, yo, the culture, we need you to put something out. I think he was putting out the black kits at the time.
He was, yeah.
So I reached out to him. I was like, yo, give me the game on the drum kits. You know what I mean? So I just took pretty much all the drums that I really used from placements, put it together. That
was the first time I saw that ever. So through all the drum kits, nobody ever put it in a space where like, here's Started Up, here's Diced Pineapples, here's Immortal. I never seen nobody give up their secrets like that.
Word.
You know what I mean? Just like, here go the whole drum selection. Word. And how I chopped it here. That was the first time.
For me, I'm not a gatekeeper. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I could give you everything that I use, but it's up to you to do what you want to do with them. You know what I mean? We're not going to make the same beat.
Facts.
So, you know what I mean?
They going to try to.
Yeah, they going to try. They definitely going to try, but, do what you do, bro.
They going to try to. Let's get into the name a little bit. Cardiak? Like, where did that come from?
Cardiak. So my homie Keesan, shout out to Keesan, he actually gave me that name. I don't know what name I had coming up. I was coming up with some bullshit. Young Gunner, Cardiac, not even Cardiac. I don't even know. Some bullshit. I had bullshit names, man.
Yeah.
And my name is Carl, for y'all that don't know. So I was just playing beats at the time. He was like, yo, you should go by Cardiac. And I'm like, Cardiac? He was like, yeah, because you be flatlining niggas. Like, your beats be flatlining shit.
Wow,
like,
that's
you know what I mean? You make your heart stop or something. And I was like, that's dope. That's cool. That's catchy. I might run with that. You know what I mean? So I was using Cardiac, but then I came up with the flatline tag because I didn't want my name. I didn't want it to say Cardiac on a beat, because then it was like,
say Cardiac, you a fool for this.
Now I did have it at first,
Hate them
like, so I
fucking
had I was saying Cardiac, and I had the flatline at the same time. So imagine hearing Cardiac over on top of the flatline. That shit was whack. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just use the flatline sound so people think it's like an effect. And to see if it worked, because I know Lex Luger, he had the sound effect. Like, when you hear that sound effect, you know it's a Lex Luger beat. You know what I mean? So I was like, I'm gonna see how this flatline shit work. So I started using the flatline, and the artist wasn't taking that shit out. I guess they thought it was like part of the beat.
Well, it sounded like it is for some reason it was always in key.
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
I make it. Sometimes it was too in key. Like, people don't even hear on Diced Pineapples, my flatline is in there, but it's so in key you can't even hear it.
That's crazy. Never even peeped that.
And I was like, I always think back, like, yo, I should have put it in a different key or a different hit and making it hit a different note so people can hear it.
Now that's good, because I know some DJs, they use sound effects when they're DJing, and the horn will be totally out of key with the music, and it just sounds terrible, bro. Some of that stuff, it ain't right. But anyways, that's one of the best tags out versus, you a fool for this one? You know what I mean? What made you make that beat? It's like, bro, why is that tag that?
Yeah.
I ain't hate, I'm just telling you. You know what I'm saying? So when you went to Cali, did you meet Berg out there?
Did I meet Berg in Cali? I think I did.
Okay.
No, I met Berg in person in Cali, but we was always, I think after Started Up, we connected through Twitter.
Okay.
So I was sending him beat packs through Twitter, and he was getting, him and his co-writers was writing songs to my beats through there. And when I finally moved to Cali, we actually linked up, and then after that, it was like,
yeah, I always felt like you was his trusty, like, shotgun. Like, if he knew how to get to the records, he was like, I'm calling Cardiak.
Yeah.
Why do you think that was?
I have a initial, like, I guess when we doing like for example, when we doing like these OG flips, I want to say I'm from that cloth where, like, I was introduced to music, I guess, around the Blueprint time. So I understand those sonics. I understand those sounds that was used, those drums that was used. So when he like, yo, a lot of the flips we do is from the 2000s. So he's like, yo, let's do, I don't know, Leighton Green, Leave Him Alone. That was Dark Child. Right. I know the drum sounds that he used. So I could, like, pick up on it, listen to it, hear what he did, and do it that way. You know what I mean? So I think that's why he hits me up, because we could, like, hit it right on the nail. You know what I mean? I think we can nail it, like, easy.
Yeah, I think with the OG flips, like, there used to be a Chinese scroll or ancient secret that you couldn't flip people's shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And the fact that y'all were flipping and didn't care made it a little bit more, it made it easier for others to be like, oh, I'm gonna start flipping shit. I know it did for me, because I was like, bro, I would never touch that.
That's what a lot of the stuff they did in the 90s was.
Yeah, the R&B songs.
Redoing the 70s stuff and the 80s stuff, you know what I mean? So I feel like it's going on, it's a whole new generation, but it's the same method, you know what I mean? So I don't see nothing wrong with it. You know, but I will say I still try to do it in my own way a little bit. Like, some of these flips don't have live bass. I'll bring in a live bass player to play the bass. True. You know what I mean? Like, I still try to do it in my own way. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's where the Cardiac sauce come in a little bit.
Favorite record you've done thus far? It could be two of them. You could do top 5, actually, if you want.
Top 5. Coco Jones' Here We Go is definitely one of them.
That's a good-ass record.
Damage is one of them. Her.
So, all right, so stop, right? So when I was telling the guys a little bit about your history, and they laughing, you know what I'm saying? I was telling a little bit about the history. I'm saying, yeah. They was like, so what has he done? Because they're learning as moving who the legends are, who the goats are, as we're moving. And I was trying to explain your catalog, how extensive it was. But then I was like, I was naming songs, and they were just like, okay. And I was like, he did her, one of her biggest records, right? So they was like, what, the Daniel Caesar one? I was like, that's not her biggest record. I felt like Damages was the biggest record. In the story, the record, you know what I'm saying? How it came about, how much it wasn't getting cleared at first, you know what I'm saying?
Damn, how you know about that, dog?
I know everything, bro.
How you know, yo?
I mean,
that's crazy.
You know how it is. So, through the passages, not for nothing, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, I'm supposed to be doing them on the show.
Okay, yeah.
And they made a story about this and how they helped the record, how they enjoyed making the record with you or whatever. And I knew about those because I sampled that with Herb Albert back in the day. And it's like, you know what I'm saying? I was cut. So long story short, I felt like I was explaining to them the biggest record, but it was like we were going through the songs and they were playing. I was like, maybe a slide. I was like, no, Damages. You know what I'm saying? I was like, it's got the biggest streams. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to get in there. Do you think that was her biggest record? Do you feel like that's your biggest record?
Damn, my biggest record? It might be. Damage might be my biggest record for real.
Yeah, the scale for me, and I'm going to tell you, I talked about Not Like Us recently. I said it's one, maybe top 3 biggest hip-hop records of all time, and I'm going to explain why. Because if I go on a scale from 11 years old to 77, everybody heard it. If your mom's in her 70s, more than likely, if she's watching TV, she's heard that song. So it's touched such a long range of people. Okay. You know what I'm saying? I felt like Damages was in the same space. Okay. If you stop at 16, 17 years old, they heard it on Power 99 all the way to a 60, 70-year-old, in my opinion. Yeah. So that's how the scale for me, how big the record is versus Slide, and I'm not digging their catalog. I'm just saying, for you to have made Damages, I feel like you brought a career. You know what I'm saying? In the whole world. So do you think that's your biggest record? It's me saying that, or you know the scale now?
Yeah, I guess so. It might be. It might be.
I just feel like if you go somewhere, you go to a wedding and a 50-year-old getting married, you might say, oh, shit. Oh, you did that record? And then you might be 21.
I feel like
fan and like that record.
Yeah, her Damage record is definitely a conversation starter because, I have a lot of those conversations with just regular people. Like, even when I'm out and they see how we come in, they be like, yo, so they find out I'm a producer, of course, and they like, so what songs have you done? And I'll start naming songs.
You
and
say that first.
They probably don't know.
No, you should
but
start.
Then when I say Damage, they be like, oh, I know Damage. And I'll be like, well, goddamn.
How many awards you won for that song?
For that particular song, I was nominated 4 times. It didn't win.
Did you get some songwriter awards though?
BMI Awards.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Sure.
Was that something you brought to the table, or that's something?
So Damage was definitely something I brought to the table. The actual beat, the beat. So believe it or not, the beat was actually made for Ross. Remember when I told you it's the mindset? I didn't imagine it being an R&B record. I thought it was going to be I made the beat for it to be Aston Martin Music Part 2.
Wow.
And I wanted her to be on the hook. Wow. I wanted her to do the hook. You know what I mean? So I got with some writers and we pinned the record. So I pitched it to Ross' team, but I never heard anything back. But just so happened, I had a session a few days later with her, and I played the beat for her, and she liked it for herself. So
wow.
Yeah, shout out to her, Aunt Clemens, Tiara Thomas. They wrote the joint, and
the rest was history.
The rest was history after that.
Now the kids, they're out there watching. We talked a little bit about the sample not getting cleared, right? Mm-hmm. Dive in that, because this is a business section that I want to get into, why samples don't clear. We often fight on the internet, like, don't use samples to keep all your money and all that. But there's a texture there with some of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Talk about that experience with that record. And I'm sure you've had other records where you had to replay samples. Right. I'm just going to use this one as an example.
Damage, that particular record, in my opinion, or the way I was on it at first, I didn't give a fuck. I'm like, yo, I don't even need no publishing because like the sample version, to me, in my opinion, I love the version that's out right now, but the sample version is like, it's night and day to me, you know what I'm saying? And I had demo-itis too, so I'm like, nah, we got to use the sample version. But shout out to everybody who pushed for the replay version because now I got to eat. You know what I mean? So
And how much publishing did it take after your replay?
man, it took a lot. Well, on my end, it took a lot. Everybody else got to eat. I just got a little bit.
I mean, but that's cool though.
It was a step. Like I said, I use joints for a stepping stone, so that's one hell of a stepping stone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it also changed my life at the same time. You know what I mean? So grateful.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we use those records as business cards.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some of them joints where I haven't got a lot of publishing. People don't know the Cannon remix with Wayne. I ain't get a lot of publishing.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
And it opened the door. Damage opened the door for Come Through with Chris Brown.
See what I'm
You
saying?
know what I mean? So
That's what we do it for sometimes. Sometimes it be based on the thought of the record and why I got there. So we jumped the line, but we got to go back to your favorite record. So that was one of them, right?
okay, yeah.
All right.
Here we go.
Coco
Jones, Damage.
Yeah.
What else is Diced Pineapples? One of my favorites. Man, it's so many, bro.
Start.
Oh man,
it's so many.
J. Cole, Love Yours.
Mm-hmm. That was a good one.
That was good.
They're like, oh my God, you did that. I'm just telling you.
J. Cole, Love Yours.
The GOAT farm for no reason.
Lloyd Banks started up. Is this record called Fountain of Youth? That's one of my favorite joints too.
And why is that one of your favorites?
That was the first joint me and Nipsey worked on. And that's how we connected through that, because he reached out to me on Twitter.
Nice.
And when I moved to LA, he welcomed me with open arms. You know what I mean? I'll never forget that. You know what I mean? Because like a lot of artists that I deal with, like after we get like maybe a few joints, I don't hear from them no more. Right. I don't know why.
Right. I call this part of it the training wheels. I told everybody when I was growing up, Primo was the person that I copied from 11 years old to 15, but I copied in my own way. When the training wheels fell off, I became myself. You know what I'm saying? Was there somebody besides, you were saying, Just Blaze, that there was a training wheel process where he was like, yo, because when I heard Start It Up, it didn't sound like nothing. So like, where was his inspiration at? You know what I'm saying?
Man, I think back then I was just trying to get on, bro. So I was just trying stuff. To believe it or not, the first joints I was sending to Lloyd Banks was more gritty, more hard, like that G-Unit sound, you know what I mean? But that actual beat, that Started Up beat, was, for me, like I said, I used to rap. So I rapped on that beat, so I had never sent it. You know what I mean? That was just something that I rapped on, so I'm like, this is my style. Like, ain't nobody gonna rap over this. So, shout out to my guy Tony G. He was an A&R at G-Unit at the time. I think I was sending beats like every week. So I was running out of beats to send. So that happened to be one of the last beats I sent because I was running out of beats.
Yep.
And then once he heard it, he was like, yo, why you ain't send this beat first, bro? Like, what took you so long to send this? This is the one. You know? So
I think that's because, you know, as a producer, one of our tricks is psychology. Knowing how the person thinks. And I think when we don't think like their career and what they want to do, we start just giving them what we think they are. Like Lloyd Banks, I would immediately just send them all the boom bap shit. So like he a rapper, he pure, but in the business sense of it, we didn't know that Lloyd Banks was looking for a single. He had already had those joints. And that was like something that was like, why didn't you send this first? Because I think they were looking for singles for him or something.
Yeah,
you know
I didn't even know.
But it was yours. It was like, I would have rapped on this. Maybe you going to rap on it.
Yeah, I didn't even think about it like that. I was just
and that was full FL?
Everything
DSTs.
from I've used nothing but FL Studio. Like I've never I tried. I mean, I use everything in FL Studio, but as far as other DAWs, I messed around with Logic. I messed around with Ableton, but ever since I started, FL Studio has been my go-to. So I've been using that since the beginning.
Wow.
Yeah, like that's all I know for real.
So when you heard Started Up remix, how you felt?
The Jeezy version. I loved it. You know what I mean? That was my first joint with Jeezy. So, you know what I mean? I was like, let's get it.
Yeah.
There's also a version with Push on it. You know what I mean? I'm not sure if it was released, but it came out later on.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, they should have put this on the regular version. So
Artist that you were most surprised got on your beat.
I don't know, cause like I'm not surprised anymore, man.
He said, "I'm not surprised anymore."
I'm not surprised. Maybe Dr. Dre, because Dr. Dre is Dr. Dre. So for him to like my stuff, I was like, wow, like I must be doing something right. Like if one of the top 5, maybe even number 1 producer in hip hop, you know what I mean, like my stuff, I must be doing something right. You know what I mean?
Definitely doing something right. This is one of the things where I say it's for the love. It's one of my favorite questions. Has there been anything in the love of music that you've done or something that you sacrificed in your life, good or bad, in a story sense that you can remember?
All right, so pretty much, you know, when you hanging out with your boys and all that type of stuff, you know, bullshit can happen or whatever. So long story short, my mans and his brother, well, I guess they was drunk or whatever, and they ended up fighting, right? No, I was already making beats. I didn't have any placements at the time, but no. I did have placements. I had the Ace Hood and I had the Joe Button placement at the time. I was sending stuff to Banks, but I didn't have the started up placement and all that stuff yet, right? So I'm hanging out with them. They drunk. They end up fighting, and they break a glass table. The table comes up and cuts my arm, and it sliced the tendon. So my hand was out of commission for a long time, and at the time I didn't have the money to have the surgery or whatever. So I thought I was going to be asked out. I thought I couldn't make beats anymore. You know what I mean? I forget what happened. I think we applied for like a loan or something like that, me and my mom, and then the doctor said they ended up doing the surgery. I was in there crying, begging, like, please, can you bring me back? Because I need my hand, you know. And they did the surgery, and, you know, through prayer and, you know, just remaining humble, started up comes.
Yeah.
The magic happens, you know what I mean? And it was like, bro, if like that's crazy to me. Like at one point I thought I was going to lose my arm or lose my hand. Now it's like I got at the time one of the biggest placements in the world. Like how did this even happen? You know what I mean? So after that, I just learned to, you know, stay out of people's business, stay out the way.
You knew this was your calling,
and and just stay and do my own thing, stay and make beats and not be in the mix with everybody. Even to this day, I consider myself to be, I guess, an introvert. You know what I mean? And I'm always in the crib cooking up because every time I go out, some bullshit happens. You know what I mean?
We was just talking about this funny story. We was talking about not going out because even if your attention, you're always subject to somebody else's bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And if you're focused, we talking about, you know, people's like, man, you don't love going to the theater and watching movies? I was like, nah, bro, I was always afraid not to be successful. So I will always just, if I would be in the movie theater, I'd be watching like, bro, you should be making beats, bro. You see all these people making all this money, all these people making all this history, and you sitting here watching this movie, you should be. So that kind of like groomed me not to be in the theaters, not to be watching TV. So sometimes we just talking about the people walking down the street like, oh shit, there go Tom Cruise. I wouldn't even know. Because I'd be, you know, out of blind sight, I'd be like, I'm so focused on one thing. So I know that I fought so hard to get there, man. I'd make thousands and thousands of beats. I never wanted none of that stuff to go away because I loved it so much. So that story is triumphant that, you know, you had to go through that and you almost figured out, damn, I can't make beats.
Yeah, like it was.
I mean,
it
it's
was
almost
scary.
like an athlete saying they having a.
It was scary because at the time I had 2 jobs. I was working at Walmart overnight, and then in the morning I worked the morning shift at Pizza Hut. You know what I mean? I didn't want to go to college.
Let me find out you're Jamaican. Jamaican, man.
I didn't want to go
3, 4, 5 jobs.
I didn't want to go to college. So I knew music was just going to pop. I'm like, yo, music going to pop. I just need the right placement. Once I get the right placement, I'm out of here because I'm a hard worker. You know what I mean? So I was going to make some shit shake. You know what I mean? Like, I always had that mindset. So once that shit happened to my arm, I was like, yo, what am I going to do? Like, it was crazy. It was dark. You know what I mean? But through prayer,
There you go.
we here.
We don't talk about this enough. Collaborators, might I say? Are you a loop sample guy and collaborate, or find your own shit and do it?
A little bit of both, but mostly I collaborate. I have a collaborator, Wu-Tang. Shout out to Wu-Tang.
Shout to Will. He's
Weez, man, he's a wizard, dog. We do a lot of work together. And shout out to my homie Swifty. We do a lot of work together. It's at the end of the day, I'm trying to bring the greatest product to the artist. You know what I mean? So I'm a team player. However we got to get it done, we gonna get it done.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So
yeah, I always ask about that because some of the younger folks is like, yo, we want to send loops into the show for producers to cook. I'd be like, bro, they actually remaking their hits. So I just wanted to clear the air with that.
Yeah.
We love your loops, we love your samples.
Yeah.
But we're not here for that.
And then when people send loops, it get kind of like tricky and all that stuff.
It does get
because
tricky.
like they tell you one thing, like, yo, I'm hungry, let's get it, and then you actually use their loop, and then if a big placement come, it's 4 or 5 people on the loop. Everybody got their own terms, their own fees. The fee is supersede everything. Like, yo, I want $50,000. Like, oh, it's crazy. Like,
Yeah, you've never touched that type of success, and then you're jumping in and saying you want half of everything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm cool. I don't want to go through that headache, so I just rock with who I rock with.
That's right. That's right. Diced Pineapples.
Mm-hmm.
We're in the recreation of that. Tell me a little bit about the history of the record. I know we talked about, Damage and all those, the mindset of the record.
Mm-hmm. So at the time, Diced Pineapples, when I started that beat, I had that beat in mind for Drake. Again, the mindset, I wasn't thinking R&B, but at the time, Drake was doing both. So I'm like, yo, I know he could get some melodies off on this, but this is more so like a rap beat. You know what I mean? So started cooking it. It was done. No, I did this for Drake. I don't have no fucking way to get beats to Drake. Nigga, what the fuck? You know what I mean?
Twitter.
So, I'm reaching out, but that nigga ain't gonna respond to me, dog. Like, ain't nobody responding to me. So, shout out to Spiff TV. He was Rick Ross A&R at the time. I already had a few Ross placements, so I just sent that beat in a pack along with Amsterdam. They was both in the same pack.
That beat is crazy.
And they like, yo, put this beat to the side. I didn't know Drake was on it until the track list came out. When I seen the track list, I was like, so which songs did I do again? They was like Amsterdam and Diced Pineapples. I was like, oh shit, Drake ended up on it anyway. You know what I mean?
It's the intention, man.
Yeah, that's how that record came about.
That's crazy. Did you get any other records to Drake after that?
So I had another record called With You, with Murder Beats and 1985. Mm-hmm. It was on a Views album. Murder Beats ended up using one of my samples. You know what I mean? So when I was doing the sample packs, he ended up using one of my samples, and then Drake and Party Next Door. That's what opened the relationship with me and Party. So that one record opened the door for like 5 more records that I had with Party. You know what I mean? So yeah, that was the other one.
Favorite person to collaborate outside of Wu and outside of Swift D?
Oh man,
it could be an artist. It could be a musician.
Oh, fucking Matt, my manager Matt, dog.
Matt.
Shout out to Matt, dog.
I call it Money Making Matt. Nobody know about Money Making Matt.
Yo, Matt, you a funny fucking guy, dog. That's my man's, dog. That's my bro. We've been in this shit since he the one. Let me tell you. So I met Matt at a meeting I had with, I'm not sure if you remember Senator Skid.
Of course.
So I won a producer showcase. I stand a producer showcase, and one of the winning things was to have a meeting with A&R, play beats or whatever. So I'm playing beats for Skid, for Bad Boy at the time. And I'm thinking Skid fucking with my beats. Mm-hmm. It was all misses, because the beats that I was playing was G-Unit type beats. Oh, okay. Matt was on the session. So that's the first time I met Matt. He was like, yo, you got some beats, but you got some shit, but you playing it for the wrong person. You know what I mean? You need to go find Tony G. He works for G-Unit. sing your beats for him, and then I'm pretty sure you gonna land some shit because your beats is fire. You just playing them for the wrong person.
Right.
Sure enough, started up all the 50 Cent stuff, everything, came from that. Matt ended up working for Universal. He hit me up like, yo, I'm at Universal now. If you want a pub deal, holla at me. We can get some shit shaking. Signed me to my pub deal at Universal. Fast forward to 2016, 2017, he got me. He placed the Love Yours joint for Illmind, which I was a part of, but he also placed Immortal for J. Cole. And after that, I'm like, dog, you might as well be my manager.
You
yo.
my man.
Because, like, he was always giving me, like, advice up until then. Like, he was my publisher for a few years. So he was like, yo, you need to do this, you need to do that.
Yep.
And then he always steered me in the right direction. You know what I mean? So I'm like, yo, you might as well just be my manager, family, just run it up. And
He's one of the few people. He has a special trait. He's one of the people that if he fucks with you, he fucks with you. You cannot tell you nothing about this person. If I have an argument about rap beef or stuff like that or some shit like that, if he fucks with you, he's gonna ride. He's like, bro, fuck no, we ain't gonna do that. Even in rooms, it was names that came up that he fuck with people. He'd stand up like, we ain't gonna talk about Holmes. That's my man, and that's one of the traits that I fuck with him for. And not for nothing, boy. No, you know how to get some bread, bro.
Man,
changed
my life.
He'll pick up some bread from somewhere.
Matt
the
changed
only
my
thing I
life.
hate that he like the Dodgers, but other than that,
Matt changed my life 10 times over,
gets to the
man.
money.
Appreciate Matt. Matt actually sent me the Lenny Williams sample for Coco Jones. Here we go.
Oh, that's what's up.
So, you know what I mean? It's like, Matt
Shout
know
out
what
to
he
Matt
doing.
for that.
Matt was like, yo, you need to flip this. I'm like, Kanye and Twista and them did this. He's like, dog, that was Matt long ago. You do all the fucking bird flips, nigga, flip this shit. So I'm like, all right, bet.
He'll get on you too. Bro, you do all that shit, you ain't going.
Yeah.
Yo, you tripping.
Always talking shit. But hey, he got it. He caught that when I was like, yo, this joint gonna get nominated for a Grammy, dog. You smart, man.
Yeah, that's what's up. You on the main stage, BackTrak, man. This is Don Cannon, Cardiak. We got to get the remake part now. Right now. Tomorrow, baby. This the GOAT launch pad right here. Dice Pineapples, the remake. Cardiak, Don Cannon. Like I said, I'm not afraid to say it. Two GOATs in one building. You know what I mean? We're in Dallas. The remake.
Yes, sir.
We went through you making the beat for Drake initially, right? And getting that space. When you're making your beats, where do you start with first? You start with drums, you start with samples, or you start with playing something?
So it depends on what I'm trying to accomplish for real. But that particular beat, I started with the music because it started with a piano loop from this sound pack, royalty free, by the way.
Royalty free.
So
Don't come back.
yeah, it's
The money's gone.
It's too late. The money gone already. But yeah, it started with this piano loop for real, and then I just built on top of it. Let me see, just throw that on there. Cool. And then
And you had a specific tempo in mind, or you just went with the loops tempo?
So as I was listening to it, I'm like, it could be sped up a little bit. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna lock it in. So right now it's at 75 BPM. I think I sped it up to like 81. And I also, I think, pitched it up too. Pitched it up a little bit. So, like, it's already like a vibe right there. Just had to, make it a...
You know what's crazy about this? Do you smoke?
No, I don't.
Okay, so normally, if you're hearing this right now, you see somebody roll up and they be smoking like, I don't know how I'm approach this, you know what I mean? So let me, you know what I mean? So when you're listening to this, and how fast do you make beats? 5 minutes, 10 minutes? You take your time? A lot of people are like, y'all cook that up in 3 minutes.
So as of lately, I be taking my time. You know what I mean? But I think back then, I did this in like maybe 10, 15 minutes. Okay. You know what I mean? Back then, I was cranking them out. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Why you taking your time now? Structure
more
better.
More attention to detail. I know structure. I try to, as far as the beat goes, I try to make it full as possible without adding too much. You know what I mean? And so that way, when I present it, only thing is missing is the lyrics. Everything else is done. You know what I mean? That's how I be working. Because it's like, I'm not able to get in the studio with the artist all the time, you know what I mean? Right. So once I get the opportunity to sing you something, I want it to be done already.
Gotcha.
And all you got to do is add the
Yeah, because a lot of them don't like post-production unless they really, really appreciate what you do after the fact.
Right.
But post-production, man, that's a myth now.
Yeah, a lot of
you don't get a chance to change it. Everybody got demoitis.
Yeah, a lot of my joints is the beat. As far as the beat, it's already done. Just, you know what I mean? Just
and you don't mind when artists change sections of the beat and make it their own?
Just let me know. Just let me know. Just let me know so that way I can tweak it on my end a little bit. You know what I mean?
You just
go in and do it, it'd be all fucked up.
Yeah, when they fucking with it now, they ask you for stems immediately.
Yeah,
Back in the day, that was a bad word. That was like, bro, I ain't get paid yet.
Yeah.
Get my stems up. What you mean?
Yeah.
So now...
That's why you got to have a good lawyer and a good manager because they make sure it's straight for you.
That's right. So now in this day and age, they ask for stems to rearrange the beat. So let them ask you first before.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think after this... So I want to say I did all the music first.
Okay.
Because I already knew what I wanted to do with the drums. Mm-hmm. So I try to do what I think is going to be harder for me for the task.
So you consider yourself more drum influence or more melody influence or both?
I guess a little bit of both. I guess it just depends on what I'm cooking at the time. Right. As of lately, I've been more melody influenced. Because there's been so many drums I'm going to use at this point.
I got you.
You know what I mean? So let me see. I want to say I used Nexus at the time.
So this is Nexus, right? Nexus 1, 2.
So what I'm using is Nexus 4.
Okay.
But at the time, I want to say it was maybe Nexus 1 or 2.
Might have been Nexus 1.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So... say I clicked the notes.
I always felt like FL was cheating because they had ghost notes and shit. Yeah. I'm hearing all these exotic
I mean, they got
melodies.
ghost notes now. I don't think they had ghost notes back then.
They did? Okay.
I don't think so.
I was like, man, they got all these perfect ass melodies. Cheating.
Let's see. Yeah, okay, here we go. Yeah.
He said, yeah, okay.
Thought I was going to struggle with this.
Nah, man. They come back to you. It's muscle memory. How important is it to have a change towards the end, coming back around when the loop comes in?
I think it's clutch. I think it's good. You know, you don't want it to be like too repetitive. You already had that moment. You know what I mean?
So when you was making this, was you freestyling in your head?
Yeah.
You was?
Mm-hmm. So the funny part is, I still get my rapping shit off, you know what I mean? I'm just not going to put out my own songs and shit. Like, when I'm producing and shit, if I'm in there with the artist, I'll throw some words out there.
Right.
I'll give you a cadence or two.
What stops you from sending the beat with the actual cadence and stuff on it?
Oh, man, I just feel like I don't like my voice. I just be feeling like I'm trash sometimes, you know what I mean?
So with the AI sensibilities now, where you can do the reference and put a Ross voice on there or a Drake voice on there, would you start
So the thing is, I tried it. I could do it, but I know I be feeling like some artists don't like that shit. Yeah. Like the fact that AI can mimic their voice and you hear their voice and you be like, what the fuck?
I feel that.
You know what I mean? So I just stay away from it. But I tried it. Like, I used the AI when it first came out. Yeah. Like, I used like a Jay-Z voice or some shit like that. That shit sounded tough. don't know, something like that. I'll come back to it.
That sounds right.
I think all the extra sounds was from Nexus at the time too.
Nexus was it. Yeah. What you working with a lot of musicians now, do you just have them come and play what you actually already had there? Like if you had this now and you had access to the...
So pretty much, I try to I try to do as much as I can on my own. But as far, like say for example, with live bass, I'll play out something on the MIDI or whatever, and I'll send it to my bass player and be like, yo, these are the notes, but do you?
Right.
You know what I mean?
More articulation.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But these are the main notes. So it's like they have a foundation, and then they'll just bring what I'm trying to do to life.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right, so... Quantas.
Boom, bro. Shit sound like something already. How important is the arrangement?
The arrangement is clutch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially when you do what I do, like when you providing all the music and everything up front, I like to have everything arranged from the rip.
Gotcha.
So that way is no question. Like you just, it's already, I'll put in the email or text or whatever, like, look, this the format. This is all you need to do. It's already ready to go.
Right. And then you have it set in your mind like, okay, we're going to start with an intro, hook, verse, 12-bar verse.
A lot of my joints is pretty much the same format. Intro, 4 8-bars, then the verse, 8 bars, 3 hook, 4 bars, and then the hook.
Is that something from being around artists, knowing that they only going to do 12 bars? Like, how'd you come up with this?
Yeah, so a lot of my, well, as of lately, a lot of my R&B joints, that's pretty much like the formula or the format. You know, you want to get to the hook and get to the, you know what I mean, the meat and potatoes as fast as possible. Right. You know what I mean? So especially working with like dope writers too. Like when I provide a beat and you fucking cutting my intro down or cutting the verse down and going straight into the pre and all that type shit, then it's like, all right, this is what, I'm pretty sure this is what y'all want from me. Right. So let me just go in and just do it myself before y'all get the chopping and all that.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And then I brought the piano in right there. So then that's when you change the snare and then
see you working with the velocity. Is that just the articulation of the drums, or that's just something you're just trying to make it feel like a real drummer?
It's the articulation of the drums.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what I was messing with in the beginning when I first did. You know what I mean? Because like I don't want all the snares to hit the same way every time. You know what I mean? And I definitely nudge hi-hats too. Like I don't really like work on the grid like that.
Yeah. And why is that?
Just to give it that feel. You know what I mean? I don't want it to sound like a computer, even though I'm working on the computer.
So quantized for certain things.
Yeah.
Everything. Okay. That makes sense. Live feel.
The drums,
Nasty.
I had this little sound effect in there. Do people still use sound effects?
I don't know, bro. I was trying to figure it out. Like, bro, I be hearing that shit. I'm like, bro.
I just thought about that. Like,
Where the sound effects at now? How many plugins do you use in the process as far as like mixing down sounds? Like, do you use reverb? You use delay? It depends.
It depends, really.
Compressors?
I don't really use a lot. I know I use on the master FL limiter.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people.
Soft clipper?
Nah.
Why not?
I've always used FL limiter.
Gotcha.
And I know how to use it. You know what I'm saying?
That's
I feel
important.
like people downplay the limiter because they don't really know how to use it.
That's important.
You know
Knowing how to use something.
Yeah, like I know how to use it. Now back then, probably I didn't know how to use it. I know how to use it now. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I mean? It's definitely a good tool because I feel like I'm not the best mixer. You know what I mean? But if I make sure my levels is right,
Yeah.
and if that limiter is on and I do what I do, it's gonna be cool.
Right.
And it worked out ever since. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Also, what I'm gonna get back to is using 5 sounds tops. You know what I mean? Music.
I got far away from it too. I'm looking up. I got 13, 14, 15 sounds in the beat now.
So back then, this is all it was: the piano, the extra guitar, and the extra piano, and that was the beat. Oh, matter of fact, I'm forgetting one more thing: the 808. I'm tripping.
You forgetting 2 more things. There was no flatline.
Oh man, okay. Yeah, we could throw the flatline in there too. And the reason why I'm up here is so I can hear it.
Yeah,
hear the
everybody's like that. I think they're like that. I'm like that. I start high so it can match, especially with 808s. You know what I mean? I feel like people that don't do that have perfect pitch. If you can hear something low and play the keys like that, like you got perfect pitch. Like there's a couple people like Lawrence and all them, they play so low.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm like, oh, y'all can hear things. You know, I'm a little tone deaf. What made you go back to saying, yo, I'm gonna use minimum sounds now. I'm not gonna really.
Cause I just feel like sometimes I overproduce.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And I find myself taking sounds out because you got to think the artist's vocals is an instrument as well.
1,000%.
You know what I mean? So you just gotta just leave room for them. You don't want to just overproduce. You know what I mean? Add a whole bunch of sounds and stuff. That's there you go.
More Trouble. Who was the best on the record?
Best on the record. My nigga Wale.
That's right. He almost sounded like the whole instrument to the record.
My nigga Wale.
Yeah, Wale.
Wale snapped.
Yeah, Wale snap.
Got his poetry off.
Yeah.
Had all the punchlines and all that.
Yeah.
Metaphors.
Yeah.
He snapped.
Nah, yeah.
For sure.
It's crazy because I heard the record backwards. When I first heard it, I only heard Wale first. That's crazy,
When you
right?
heard the record backwards, what you mean?
I heard Wale verse before anybody.
Oh, word.
Yeah.
Oh,
like,
shit.
I heard it
Okay.
in a car. I was at Record One in LA. So I was playing in the car. I'm like, what's that, the new Wale? They was like, nah, that's raw shit. I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, oh, shit, that shit sounded crazy. Yeah, Wale went crazy.
All right, let me see. See how it's already the key?
You can't even hear
You can't
it.
even hear it because it's in the right key. That's crazy, right?
That's wild.
Like it was in there, but
Yeah.
that mix drowned it out.
That's crazy.
Let me see.
That's crazy. You couldn't even hear it.
Mm-hmm.
Masterpiece. At this time, how many beats were you making a day?
Man, at this time, a day, 5 to 10 maybe. 5 to 10.
10?
Yeah, 5 to 10.
I ain't gonna lie, I can do 5, but 10 is
5
crazy.
to 10. And then that's on the low end probably, because I know other producers that was probably doing way more than that
Yeah.
at the time. You know what I mean? But I think now I try to do two a day.
2 a day.
2 a day.
Two
I think
full
that's it.
though, full beats,
2
not
full
just
beats.
ideas.
Yeah.
Right.
ideas, I could do 10, but I try to export 2 full joints a day. You know what I mean? Then I'll come back and mess with the other ones another
Right.
time. But as long as I get 2 good ones, I'll be straight.
Yeah, I remember back then I got to do 800 beats a year.
Yeah.
Now I'm down to like maybe 165. I don't really. Yeah,
I mean, at the end of the day, all it takes is 1.
that's it.
I mean, you get that 1.
Usually I'll make 165 to land 10.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? 10
Yeah.
specials. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is that the thought process you think about too?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For sure.
You never had like one of those moments where you were like, yo, I want to get 20, 25 placements in 1 year?
Man, so I'm sure everybody think like that. Like everybody want like thousands of hundreds of placements a year. You know what I'm saying? But you know, for me, I just want joints that's just gonna stick with you. You know what I mean? So if it's 1 or 2, that's really gonna stick with you, I'll take that over saturation and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'll take that for sure.
Yeah, they used to say 3 placements a year is a superstar producer. Ain't that
Word?
crazy? Yeah.
Oh, snap.
That's what they used
That's
to
a
say.
superstar.
You know what I mean? So if you got 3 placements a year, you're a superstar. You know what I mean?
Just give me the hit, man.
Yeah,
Give me the hit.
I never told this story, but during COVID, shout out to Southside, that's my man. He had like, I think he posted somewhere, he had like 45 placements in 1 year.
Word.
And I was like, bro, I was so hot, because I'm still competitive. I was so hot. I was like, man, 2020, I started going crazy, bro.
COVID was probably one of my biggest years.
Yeah, I was like, man, I got to get close. That was the year. I had 26 placements 1 year, but I was like, man, I tried to get to the 45 bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was going crazy.
And I want to say COVID really allowed somebody like myself to shine, because like I said, I'm an introvert, you know what I mean? So when COVID happened and everything shut down and everybody had to work from behind the computer, I'm in my element. This is what I do.
We can't go outside anyway?
We can't go
what's up with
outside.
that?
So 2020, 2021, that's when like I snapped at 4 on Tiana Taylor, 4 on Party Next Door.
Yeah, you were snapped.
Damage dropped. Then Jasmine Sullivan came out. Then Chris Brown, like a whole bunch of stuff. Like I was going crazy, all because of the pandemic, and we had to be in the house. I'm like, yo, this. I wish it could always be like this.
Yeah, you were snapped.
Yeah. Then everything opened back up. Then it's like, all right, I gotta come back outside now. All right.
Let's talk about the future. AI. What's your feelings?
Oh man. The way I see it, anything that can help me do what I need to do, I'm with it. You know what I mean? The vocal thing, we gotta figure it out. They still tweaking it, you know what I mean? But as far as production, anything that can help me out production wise, I'm with. So like I said, I'm not the best musician, but if AI can help me play some shit that make it sound like I've been in the church for 10 years, shit, help me.
Word. Also in the future, catalog sales and pump and dumping your masters. How you feel about that?
From experience, I recently just did a catalog deal. You know what I mean? So I want the start fresh feeling. You know what I mean? Because now I'm hungry again. Now I'm outside. Now I'm cooking up. I got to build my catalog back.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I need to go crazy, but I also get to like, you know, like a start fresh financially. Like, no debt, no burdens, no nothing. It's like me and my family good, and I'm hungry. So this is double trouble for y'all motherfuckers. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Double trouble.
You know what I mean? So that's how I look at it. So if it's beneficial for you, you know what I mean, you should definitely look into it. Make sure you got a good team, good manager, good lawyer, and look over everything. And then if it makes sense for you to do it,
That's right.
you know what I mean, do what you do.
We're listening to Dice Pineapples. Rick Ross is heavy in investments. Moving forward in the future or now, what's your investment thought process like?
Investment thought process, man. Anything that can help me and my family, you know what I mean, I'm with
You
it.
keep it real hustler. Whatever can help the
Man,
family.
whatever can help the family, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It ain't really too much thought into it. Like we gonna sit down and figure it out. If it makes sense, it makes sense.
Word. So no ring, no
What you
no
mean?
Apple ring investment.
Oh nah, not yet.
No vitamin water.
Not yet. I mean, just keep it local, a few shops and all that around the town and all that. But other than that, you know what I mean? Or real estate or something. You know what I mean?
No doubt.
Definitely looking into that. But, you know, gotta keep it in the family.
That's what's up. Tell the people where they can find you.
You can find me Instagram. You can find me Instagram and Twitter or X, whatever you prefer to call it, you know, Cardiak Flatline. And that's it, man. I'll let me know what's up.
The GOAT is here. The GOAT is here. We ain't claiming to be GOATs, but we fit the description. You know what I mean? You know what it is, man. BackTrak, Cardiak, Diced Pineapples, Don Cannon.
Skip.
Holla at him.